If you can have it Friday, we'll couple.
Okay. So, question number 4. So again, you should have, this is the 4th for this section. So, like I've explained, listen up guys. Like I've explained before, I think having quizzes over fewer notes is a better idea than having lots of notes and then having a test. Okay, the quiz will be Friday, and it's going to be over the first 4 sections. So adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, and then classifying, and we're going to review tomorrow. So classifying, and I will give you the chart for classifying. So binomial, trinomial, blah, 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 cubic, quartic, I'll give you all those charts. I'll have them on the board, so you don't have to have those memorized. Okay, what we're going to do today is we are going to divide polynomials. So we're going to divide polynomials. Poly is many terms. Okay, so the term polynomial means many terms. It could mean 1 term, 2 terms, 3 terms, 4 terms, 5 terms. So polynomial means any amount of terms. So on the top, I'm going to have lots of different types of terms.
I thought polynomial meant any term after 4.
Right, but it also means anything before. We just don't have special names for the ones before. But it's still a polynomial. We're taking a polynomial, so 1 term, 2 terms, 3, 4, 5, whatever, dividing by a monomial. Monomial, how many terms? 1. Mono, 1. Okay? Okay, so we are taking lots of terms. So you're going to see lots of terms on top divided by a single term on the bottom. Now, to do this, we have to remember the quotient rule like we did last unit. Quotient rule means if I am dividing, what do I do with my exponents? Subtract. Okay? So just a quick refresher. The quotient rule says if I'm dividing, I subtract my exponents. And we're going to be using that.
So are we basically just dividing like the denominator by the denominator at top?
Kind of. Let me look at a couple.
Right, number 1 should be 9x squared, right?
Yes. So, let's read this. To divide a polynomial by a monomial, divide each term of the numerator by the term in the denominator. Let's look at one like 3. Yes, 1 through 3. 1 through 3 is review from last unit. We'll get to different types in a second, but basically 1 through 3 is exactly like we did last unit. Let's just review 1. Let's look at 3 real quick. So 20 over 24 reduce the fraction. How does 20 over 24 reduce? 4/5. Divide top and bottom by 4. So 20 by 5, sorry. No, it's not 4/5. It's not. 5, 4. No, 5. Shouldn't listen to you guys. No, I know, thank you. Okay, so 20 over 24, we can divide top and bottom by 4. So 5 over 6. Okay, so just like we did last unit, divide top and bottom by 4. 20 divided by 4 is 5. 24 divided by 4 is 6. Now my exponents, I subtract them. Okay? Yep, let's put it at the top. Let's look at A. 2. Yep, always start at the top. Just a second. 2 minus 3, negative 1. We dealt with negative exponents. We'll talk about that in a second. 4's, b to the 4th. They are the exact same, so they cancel out. 6 minus 3, c to the 3rd.
So it's going to be 5 over.
Just a second. Give me a second. Let me explain it. Okay, so the a to the negative exponent, we move it to the bottom, and that becomes a positive first power. So 6a on the bottom, and then the c to the 3rd stays on top. So just a quick review, that's exactly like we did last unit. Okay. Now let's look at one that's a little trickier. Let's look at one like 9. 9 is a little different, because if you look at 9, instead of having a single term on top, you have a trinomial, 3 terms on top. What you're going to do is you're going to take every term on top and divide it by that denominator. Okay, just a second. I want to go through this step by step. So 18c squared over 3c minus 21c squared over 3c plus 3c over 3c. Okay. Yeah, I said 18. It's 18x cubed. So you take every, listen up. You take every term on top and divide it by the 1 on the bottom. So 18c cubed over 3c. That negative 21, you just put the minus in front. Negative 21c squared over 3c plus 3c over 3c.
See, I don't have to write all that out.
I would.
Why?
Because
It's literally
I get, okay.
there, just the lines connected.
Okay. I guess I do not care. You do not have to write it this way, but you need to be careful with your exponents. Okay?
For some
So,
people, it's easier to write
yes, I'm showing you this way because I want to show you the way that worked for me. If it doesn't work for you, if it doesn't work for you, if it doesn't work for you, I'm not going to force you to show this step, but I want to show it to you so you can use it if it helps. Okay, now you're going to treat each one of these separately. So 18 divided by 3, 6, 3 minus 1, 2, c squared. So you're going to take each one of those parts and treat it like we did for number 3. You divide and you subtract the exponents. Negative 21 divided by 3, 2 minus 1, c to the first. 3c over 3c, they do, but they're going to give you 1. Because if you think the same thing divided by the same thing is 1, so you have to have a plus 1.
So what, you don't have to do all the flipping and stuff? Like,
Do I have to flip any of the exponents? No, because there's no negative 1.
so, but if there is, what do we do?
You would flip it. We'll do a couple.
So, number 9 is what we're doing today.
Yes.
1, 2, 3 is what we did last
Yes. But basically, the only way the way you do this is you split it up, and then there's just 3 separate ones like we did last unit. No, we're going to do a couple more. Okay. Let's look at one like 14.
You should let us try it and see if we get the answer.
No, that's why I would do it on the homework. So look at one like 14. So if I look at one like 14, we have a binomial on top. 2 terms, divide by monomials. So we're going to take each term on top and write it over the bottom one. So negative 25 x to the 4th, y to the 3rd, over negative 5x squared y, plus 30 x squared y to the 5th, over negative 5 x squared y. So we take everything on top, both terms, and write it over the monomial. Now, I don't have to see this every time, but when you start getting multiple exponents and multiple variables, it's easier because I think it's easier because you can keep track of stuff a little better.
Wait, what number did you say, Charlie?
14.
Okay.
So let's divide out. Negative 25 divided by negative 5.
5.
Positive 5.
X to the second.
We subtract the exponents. 4 minus 2.
X to the second.
X to the second.
Y to the first. Or second.
Okay, just a second. 3 minus 1. Y squared.
Plus. Or minus.
Now, be careful. 30 divided by negative 5. Negative 6.
Wait. Oh, yeah.
X squared cancel because they're the exact same. 5 minus 1. Y to the 4th.
Nice.
We're going to do a couple more and then I'll start the homework.
I always thought the units you were going to start with.
Can we do 21?
Yeah, we can do 21. Actually, I want to do one before that. Let's look at one like
19. They're all easy.
Let's look at 18. Let's look at 18. Okay. If I look at 18, we're going to take each term, it's a trinomial, and we're going to write it over.
What happens if they don't divide evenly?
We'll deal with that in a second. Okay. First thing you want to do with these is you want to take each term on top and write it over the denominator. Now, if they do not divide out evenly, you reduce the fraction like we did number 3.
But they all do that.
Right, but I'm just saying if you don't,
Is it gonna be like that on the homework?
some will, some won't, but
Some will.
some you can divide, some you'll have to reduce the fraction like number 3. We did number 3. Okay, so take each term on top and divide by the bottom. Any questions on this setup? Now, let's take each of these and do them separately. Negative 24 divided by 3. Negative 8. 7 minus 5. x to the second. Okay, divide. 9 divided by 3, 3. 3 minus 5, negative 2. So check the negative. 3 minus 5 is a negative second. We'll deal with that in a second. Negative 15 divided by 3.
Negative 5.
Now this is 1. So 1 minus 5, negative 4. I'm just going to write the answer to the side. We're not going to do 17, so write it to the side
I have a
here.
question. Whenever you're flipping them, do you flip the whole number or just the extra?
Okay, good question. So we have the negative 8x squared. That's a positive exponent, so I don't flip it. Now the question was, when I have a negative exponent, do I move the 3 to the bottom? The 3 is not being raised to the negative second, only the x. So it's 3 over x squared. So that's a good question. That's where I see lots of mistake. It's not in parentheses. So the 3 is not being raised to the negative second, only the x. So you put the 3 on top, move the x to the bottom because it's negative.
Can I not just put like all of it over x to the second? Or do I have to do that?
What do you mean all of it?
Come here.
I'll look at. Give me a second. Let me do this. I'll look at.
Negative 8x up to the second.
No, because it's a positive x. We're looking at each one of them separate, if that's what you're asking.
Why?
Because that's what each one is divided by 3x to the fifth. So each one of them is separate.
So I don't understand.
Just a second. Let me finish this, and I'll help you.
They're all over the same thing.
Let me set this up, and then I'll help you.
You set it up
Okay.
1, 2.
Just a second. Let me finish this, and then I can help you individually. So, negative 5. This is x to the negative fourth. That negative 5 is not raised to the negative fourth. It stays on top. This becomes x to the positive fourth. And that's your answer.
We get number 21 too.
We'll do 21. Yep. Okay. Any questions?
Yes.
That's why we split them up, so that you can see them each all as an individual one. So you're going to have 3 separate ones.
Hey, man.
Tyler, I need you.
What do you need, bro? I got you.
Is that still technically right?
Oh my god.
If you don't rewrite it,
But look, it's like this up here.
right, it's like this. This is
Just keep it account wrong. Just like
A little bit.
You don't have to write them against that. Right. Okay, let's look at 21, and then we'll be done. Okay, 21. Listen up. 21, we have 3 terms on top. So we're going to take each term on top, and we're going to divide it by the denominator.
So that 3.
Okay, so 30 c to the 5th d to the 9th over 3c squared d squared minus 12 c to the 4th d to the 8th over 3c squared d squared. Okay, listen up, guys. Last one, plus 3 c cubed d to the 7th over 3c squared d squared. So take each term on top and divide it by the 1 in the denominator. And then go through and treat each one separately. 30 divided by 3. 10. C to the 5 minus 2. 3. D to the 7th. 9 minus 2.
Minus 4.
Negative 12 divided by 3. Minus 4. C to the
Second.
4 minus 2. Second. D to the 8 minus 2. 6.
Plus 1. C, D to the 5th.
Okay, 3 over 3 is 1. C, 3 minus 2,
1.
first. 7 minus 2,
D to the 5th.
d to the 5th. Now, I cannot combine because none of them have the exact same exponents. So that's my answer. Okay, any questions? So it's similar to what we did last unit, except you have to split it up and you have 3 of them instead of just 1. Okay, I want to make sure I give you time to do the homework.
For real? Ow.